Tonight, we're opening 5 files that were all found after midnight. Different places, different people, same problem. Each one started with something small enough to ignore, and each one ended with someone wishing they had. File 5. The Porch Light. The clip came from a doorbell camera in a quiet neighborhood where nothing ever happened after 10. At 2:17 in the morning, the porch light turned on by itself. No motion alert, no car in the driveway, no footsteps on the path. Just the light. Then, a little girl stepped into frame. She was wearing a yellow raincoat, even though the ground was dry and the sky was clear. She walked right up to the door and looked into the camera. For 11 seconds, she did not blink. The homeowner later said they did not have children. None of the neighbors did either. The strange part was not the girl. It was what happened when the porch light went out. In the reflection of the glass storm door, someone much taller was standing behind her, holding her shoulders. File 4. The Elevator Button. This file came from a maintenance worker at an old hospital wing that had been closed for renovation. His job was simple: check the breakers, photograph the water damage, leave before the overnight crew arrived. At 12:46 in the morning, the elevator opened on the basement level. That should not have been possible. The elevators had been locked out for 3 weeks. Inside, only one floor button was glowing: the 7th floor. The worker pressed cancel. The button stayed lit. He stepped back. The doors started closing, but before they met, a hand reached through from inside the elevator. It was not trying to get out. It was waving him in. The worker ran up the stairs and quit that night. When security pulled the footage, the elevator never moved. It stayed in the basement the entire time. But the camera inside the cab recorded 7 floors passing by. File 3. The Bedroom Wall. A couple rented a small cabin near a frozen lake for a weekend away. The first night, they heard scratching inside the bedroom wall. They thought it was mice. Then it scratched 3 words: "Let me out." The husband recorded the sound because he thought no one would believe them. On the recording, you can hear him whisper, "There is something in the wall." Then his wife says, "That is not the wall." The camera turns. The scratching is coming from their suitcase. It is standing upright by the door, moving slightly each time the scratching starts. When they opened it outside the cabin, it was empty, except for a wet handprint on the inside lining, too small to be either of theirs. File 2. The Baby Monitor. This one was sent in by a father who said he almost deleted it. His son was 2 years old and had just started sleeping through the night. At 3:08, the baby monitor clicked on. The room was dark. The child was asleep. Then a voice whispered from beside the crib, "Move over." The boy shifted in his sleep. The blanket lifted just a little, like someone was pulling it from the other side of the mattress. The father ran down the hall and opened the nursery door. There was no one there, but the mattress had a dip in it, right beside his son. The next morning, the child pointed at the empty corner of the room and said, "He said your name wrong." File 1. The gas station tape. This tape was found in a box behind the register of a gas station that closed in 2009. Most of the footage was normal: empty aisles, flickering light.
One cashier reading a magazine under the counter. Then at exactly 3:33, every camera cut to black, except one. The camera facing the front doors. Outside, a man stood under the canopy in a dark suit. He had no car, no shadow, and his face was turned away from the camera. The cashier looked up. The automatic doors opened. The man did not move, but his reflection walked in. You can see it cross the tile. You can see the cashier lean back. You can see the reflection bend down beside him. Then the audio returns for 1 second. The cashier says, "That is not mine." The tape cuts out. When the footage comes back, the store is empty. The magazine is still on the counter. The register drawer is open. And on the receipt printer, one line is printed over and over again. It followed the wrong person home. So if you find a file after midnight, do not open it just because it was left behind. Sometimes a thing is lost, and sometimes it is waiting to be found.